America's Got Talent is full of unforgettable moments. Today, I'll be ranking every extreme performance in AGT history. We're going from the absolute best and the complete disasters. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll question everything you thought you knew about talent shows. 1. The Comeback Queen. Jessica Sanchez proved that sometimes the best talent comes from those who refuse to give up, even when they're literally carrying new life. This 30-year-old Filipino-American woman had been the runner-up on American Idol Season 11. Faced career uncertainty, and even appeared on AGT as a child in Season 1. But Season 20 was her moment of complete redemption. But you need to understand what made this moment so powerful. Jessica wasn't just another singer trying to make it big. She was someone who'd stepped away from music, questioned whether she still had what it takes, and was now returning to the biggest stage in America while dealing with all the physical and emotional challenges of being in her third trimester.
Another surprising thing is I recently found out that I'm pregnant, so...
What?
In her third trimester of pregnancy, she walked onto that stage and delivered Beautiful Things by Benson Boone with such raw emotion that Sofia Vergara gave her the golden buzzer instantly. We're talking about a woman who could barely see her feet, probably dealing with back pain and exhaustion, but somehow channeling all of that vulnerability into her performance. Her voice carried genuine emotion as she sang about finding beauty in life's moments, and you could feel the personal connection she had to the lyrics in every single note. The audience was on their feet before she even finished the song. Sofia was wiping tears from her eyes as she slammed that golden buzzer with the kind of emotion that you just can't fake. Howie Mandel looked genuinely moved, which if you know Howie, that's basically a miracle. Simon's reaction was complete admiration. You could see him thinking, this is what we're looking for. This wasn't about proving doubters wrong. It was about a woman who'd stepped away from music, rediscovering her passion at the perfect moment in her life. Her Filipino-American community rallied behind her like she was running for president. Social media exploded with support from mothers, from people who'd taken career breaks, from anyone who'd ever wondered if it was too late to chase their dreams. She went on to perform Ordinary by Alex Warren in the quarterfinals and Golden Hour by JVKE in the semifinals, each performance building on her story of resilience and second chances. When she ultimately won the entire season, taking home that $1 million prize, her victory speech about never giving up resonated with millions of people worldwide. She proved that sometimes your biggest comeback happens when you have the most to lose. But if that's what peak talent looks like, wait until you see what happens when confidence meets absolutely zero preparation. The Poultry Piano Disaster. Joku the Chicken was supposed to be a musical prodigy, but instead became one of AGT's most hilariously awkward moments when she completely froze under pressure during the Judge Cuts round. Season 12 gave us this 2-year-old Buff Brahma from Germantown, Maryland, and honestly, the whole situation was both adorable and cringeworthy. This is where things start getting genuinely weird. During the original auditions, Joku had actually impressed everyone by pecking out America the Beautiful on a small keyboard. Guided by a red light system her trainers had developed through months of positive reinforcement training. It was quirky, it was patriotic, it was exactly the kind of wholesome weirdness that AGT absolutely loves. The judges were completely charmed by this musical chicken, the audience was delighted, and Joku confidently advanced to the Judge Cuts round. But when it came time for the pre-recorded Judge Cuts round, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Both Joku and her sibling Aichan completely froze. We're talking total complete stage fright from a chicken. The trainers kept encouraging them from the sidelines, pointing at the keyboard.
You can do it. Joku! Chick. Come on. Come on, Joku.
Making encouraging sounds. Trying everything they could think of to get these birds to remember their training. The red light was flashing, the patriotic music was playing in the background, and these chickens just stood there like they'd never seen a piano in their entire lives. You could almost see them thinking, "What is this strange contraption, and why are all these humans staring at us?" The silence in that theater was absolutely deafening. You could hear individual audience members trying desperately not to laugh, but failing miserably as the seconds ticked by. Simon Cowell's face went through multiple different expressions: initial confusion, growing amusement, secondhand embarrassment, and finally complete resignation. Mel B, Heidi Klum, and Howie Mandel all buzzed one by one, their faces showing that perfect mix of disappointment and barely contained laughter. Simon's post-buzz comment was absolutely perfect. Well, I guess they chickened out. Even in complete failure, this moment provided some of the best unintentional comedy in AGT history. Now that was awkward, but completely harmless. Let's see what happens when raw talent meets pure authenticity. The 12-year-old game changer, Grace VanderWaal, didn't just perform covers like every other kid on AGT.
But baby, I'm not ready for hours in an empty room.
She wrote her own music and completely revolutionized what it meant to be an original artist at just 12 years old. Season 11 was absolutely stacked with incredible talent, but nobody was ready for this Suffolk County kid with a ukulele and a story that needed to be told. But you need to understand exactly how she changed everything. Most kids who audition for talent shows play it completely safe. They pick the most popular songs. They try to sound exactly like their favorite artists. They give the judges what they think they want to hear. Grace threw all of that conventional wisdom out the window and showed up with something nobody had ever heard before.
What's your name?
Grace.
Grace, you're a beautiful young lady, you know that?
With just her ukulele and her original song, I Don't Know My Name, she made Howie Mandel cry actual tears and hit that golden buzzer after she finished her performance. Her voice had this incredibly raspy, authentic quality that you absolutely cannot fake or manufacture in a studio. She sang lyrics about not knowing who she is while somehow knowing exactly who she was meant to be. And the vulnerability in those words hit everyone in that theater right in their feelings. Simon Cowell called her authentic in a sea of copies, which coming from Simon is basically the highest compliment he can give. Heidi Klum looked genuinely shocked that someone so young could write something so mature and meaningful. Mel B was nodding along like she was listening to her new favorite song on the radio, while other contestants were delivering technically flawless covers of chart-topping hits. Grace was up there being vulnerable and real and slightly imperfect in the most beautiful way possible.
To get found in an ocean of people. Please don't ask me any that I don't know.
Her ukulele playing wasn't technically perfect, her voice cracked occasionally, but none of that mattered because she was sharing her actual soul with everyone watching. She inspired thousands of young musicians around the world to stop playing it safe and start creating something that actually matters to them. After winning the entire season, she went on to release multiple albums, tour internationally, and become a genuine role model for young artists everywhere. Grace didn't just win a talent show, she started an entire movement of young artists who prioritized authenticity over technical perfection. Beautiful, right? Well, hold on to that warm feeling because we're about to witness what happens when internet fame collides with zero actual talent. The rapid rap catastrophe. Trisha Paytas walked onto the AGT stage thinking she could rap at lightning speed.
Every single summer when I turn on my TV, I'm watching AGT thinking how should we be on that stage on occasion. We're so off of hold, didn't take it seriously because I never had.
But instead delivered one of the most secondhand embarrassing moments in show history that still makes people physically cringe over a decade later. She launched into what she claimed was rapid-fire rapping, blurring through an original song about watching AGT so incredibly fast that even the judges couldn't tell if she was having some kind of breakdown or attempting some form of performance art that nobody understood.
Yeah, but just like any other one, except for my mom who says her class is all gas. Can't even little class, come here, fun, too bad. I'm barking with a come here.
The lyrics were barely comprehensible, just a stream of consciousness rushing through random references to the show and the judges in a way that sounded more like she was having a panic attack than showcasing any kind of musical ability whatsoever. Howard Stern looked genuinely confused, like he was trying to solve a puzzle that was missing half the pieces. Sharon Osbourne had that painfully fake smile you give when someone's kid shows you their terrible drawing and you don't want to completely crush their soul. Howie just looked completely lost in space. probably wondering if this was some kind of elaborate prank being played on all of them. All three buzzers hit her like a wall of cold, harsh reality crashing down at once. But here's where it gets so much worse. Years later, she admitted in her own videos that she was really just there to meet Howard Stern.
I'm not really a rapper. I just need to make up a talent to see Howard Stern.
Oh, well, that's different. Now you're talking.
Which explains why her talent felt more like a desperate fan encounter than an actual audition showcasing real skill. She even claimed that the producers made her change her act at the last possible minute from a Nicki Minaj cover to this original rapid rap. But honestly, that just makes the whole thing worse, because it means someone backstage thought this was actually an improvement over whatever she had planned originally. This moment perfectly shows how internet fame and viral attention absolutely do not translate to actual talent, and how desperation can make people do things that will haunt them for the rest of their lives. Okay, that was genuinely painful to sit through. Now let's cleanse our palates with something absolutely magical, the singing ventriloquist sensation. Best, Darcy Lynn didn't just do ventriloquism, she sang through her puppets without moving her lips, while cracking jokes and managing multiple distinct personalities, basically doing 4 different highly skilled jobs at once better than most people can do even one. Season 12 was already incredibly competitive, but this 12-year-old from Oklahoma brought something nobody had ever seen before in their lives. Her audition performance of Summertime through Petunia the Rabbit was absolutely flawless from start to finish. You could stare at her lips like a hawk and they never moved, not even a tiny bit, while this incredibly powerful and soulful singing voice came out of a pink rabbit puppet.
Wow!
But Petunia wasn't just singing. She was performing, making facial expressions, interacting with the audience, having full conversations. Mel B hit that golden buzzer so fast she nearly broke it, tears streaming down her face as she stood up and applauded. Simon Cowell, the man who's literally seen everything the entertainment world has to offer, sat there completely speechless for several seconds, which, if you know Simon, that's basically a miracle. The later performances throughout the season were somehow even better.
I used to feel so uninspired. I treated you bad.
She brought out multiple puppets and had full conversations with them, while they each had completely distinct singing voices and personalities. Watching her manage 3 different character voices while maintaining perfect ventriloquism technique and keeping the entire audience laughing was like watching a masterclass in entertainment. She proved that when you combine traditional skills with modern personality and absolutely flawless execution, you create something that transcends typical talent show performances. Her win wasn't just deserved, it was completely inevitable from that first audition. Darcy didn't just win season 12, she completely redefined what ventriloquism could be in the modern era and inspired countless young performers. Now wait until you see what happens when someone completely mistakes shock value for actual entertainment value. The magic strip show disaster. Aoni Jackson thought combining magic tricks with stripping would create the perfect fusion act, but instead created one of the most inappropriate and poorly executed auditions in AGT history. Early in season 7's run of televised auditions, Jackson invited Howie Mandel onto the stage to participate in a magic trick involving his personal ring.
Just in case you should ever see it again. Watch, because the ring goes into my hand like this.
All right.
It's gone.
He should have been the first red flag for everyone involved. But then, instead of focusing on the actual magic trick, he started dancing provocatively while removing layers of clothing. First his shirt, then his pants, all while attempting to make Howie's ring disappear through sleight of hand. The magic trick itself was clumsy and completely unconvincing, totally overshadowed by the awkward striptease happening simultaneously on a family television show. The audience genuinely didn't know whether to look away, laugh nervously, or call security to intervene. The energy in that entire theater shifted from anticipation to profound discomfort in about 15 seconds. Howard Stern, Sharon Osbourne, and Howie buzzed early, with Stern actually reaching over to press Howie's buzzer for him because Howie was too stunned to move his own hand. This moment perfectly demonstrates why understanding your audience is absolutely crucial for any performer trying to succeed. That was deeply, profoundly awkward. Let's wash that terrible taste out of our mouths with a true legend. The ventriloquist virtuoso. Terry Fator revolutionized ventriloquism on AGT and became the absolute gold standard that every future ventriloquist would be measured against, winning Season 2 with a combination of technical perfection, incredible celebrity impressions, and genuine entertainment value that nobody saw coming.
And life is like a song.
His victory launched a Las Vegas career that's still going incredibly strong today. Before Terry came along, ventriloquism was seen as completely old-fashioned, something your grandfather might have enjoyed at a vaudeville show decades ago. Terry brought it into the modern era by combining traditional ventriloquism techniques with contemporary music and spot-on celebrity impressions that were somehow even better when coming from a puppet. His audition featured Emma Taylor performing At Last with an incredible Etta James impression that left everyone speechless.
My name is Terry Fator.
I'm Emma Taylor.
This is Emma Taylor.
I'm a singer.
The technical skill was flawless, but it was the emotional connection and entertainment value that really set him apart from anything the judges had seen before. In his top 10 performance, he delivered Unforgettable with Emma Taylor, impersonating Nat and Natalie Cole in a father-daughter duet that showcased his incredible vocal range and ability to create genuine emotional moments. His top 8 performance featured That's Amore and I Left My Heart in San Francisco with Johnny Vegas, proving his versatility across different puppet characters and musical styles. Judges Piers Morgan, Sharon Osbourne, and David Hasselhoff gave him standing ovation after standing ovation throughout the season. Piers called him a $1 million act early on, and he was absolutely right, but the real magic was how he made it all look completely effortless while delivering genuine entertainment. That's what truly led me. The unstoppable spirit. Cody Lee walked onto that season 14 stage blind and autistic, and in just 3 minutes, he reminded everyone why America's Got Talent exists in the first place, to celebrate human potential in absolutely all of its forms. His performance created one of the most emotionally powerful moments in the entire show's history. His mom Tina introduced him by explaining how music literally saved his life, how it gave him a way to connect with the world when everything else felt impossible or overwhelming.
Cody is blind and autistic.
Wow.
We found out that he loved music really early on. He listened and his eyes just went huge.
She described how Cody has a photographic memory for music, how he can hear a song just once and play it back perfectly. Then Cody sat at that piano and delivered Donny Hathaway's A Song for You with such incredible power, precision, and emotional depth that grown adults throughout the entire audience started openly sobbing. His voice was rich and soulful. His piano playing was technically flawless. But more importantly, every single note felt like it carried the weight of his entire life experience. Gabrielle Union couldn't stop crying while hitting that golden buzzer, her mascara running down her face as she stood up and applauded through her tears. Simon Cowell called it extraordinary without any hesitation. And from a man who's seen literally everything the entertainment world has to offer, that means something truly profound. Cody didn't just overcome his disabilities, he transformed them into his absolute superpower, showing that when genuine talent meets unshakable determination, nothing can stop someone from changing the entire world. The Needle Horror Show. Sanjula Vamana thought sticking massive needles through his face would impress the judges, but instead created the most disturbing, grotesque, and psychologically unsettling moment in AGT history that still makes people physically nauseous over a decade later. He began by slowly inserting long, thick needles through his cheeks directly into his mouth, piercing the skin with deliberate precision while maintaining this creepy, completely stoic expression. The sound of metal pushing through flesh was audible in the completely silent theater. Then he escalated the horror by driving another needle upward through his chin into his mouth, creating a grotesque visual that looked more like medieval torture than entertainment. There was no music, no setup, no artistic context, just pure body horror happening in real time on family television. The judges reacted with immediate and genuine revulsion.
I actually want to thank you because you remind me of why I don't like people.
Howard Stern, Sharon Osbourne, and Howie Mandel's faces contorted in complete shock and disgust. Howie literally covered his eyes like a scared child at a horror movie. All three judges buzzed the act within seconds, desperately trying to make it stop before it could get any worse. The judges' comments highlighted how completely inappropriate this was for a family-oriented show, with clear expressions of discomfort and rejection of this type of performance on AGT's stage. This represents the absolute worst end of the spectrum, acts that prioritize pure shock value over any kind of artistic merit, entertainment value, or basic human decency. It's the perfect example of completely misunderstanding the assignment.